I'm still not quite comfortable with numerous checkpoints and controls in Turkey, but I have to admit they are now more fun than before with all those questions about my trip and the bike. And even though they do not speak English language or any other that I do, they're trying, to help you out, to tell you where to go, what to see. So it's not that bad as it looks like at the very beginning. And paved road starts to disappear once again, which is a good sign because soon I'll be off-road. I'm on my way from Paved to Trabzon, a nice city on the Black Sea, plus the city where I'm gonna be doing service, which is usual with these bikes on each 10,000 kilometers. So these two cities are connected with one very nice road, D915, also known by its nickname Dead Road. It's running from north to south across the mountain range, and it's 179 kilometers long, but from these 1079 kilometers the tricky ones are 35 kilometers that are more off-road trail than the road. Narrow path, sharp turns, no fence, gravel and mud. And on all of that, when you put the rainy weather that I had, with the fact that I started the voyage across this mountain, let's say a little bit earlier in the year that I supposed to, you have a winning combination. Here I'm near the Soganli Pass on 2,330 meters. So usually you would consider, if there's not so much snow on the top, you will not have any later on, but that's not the case. As they say, assumption is the mother of all failures. So I won't be. So the case was that if you have a place that's more or less in a shade, then the snow will not be melting there as much as it's melting on the top. And I knew that, but you are telling yourself when you are already there at such place, it would be a shame not to try. Although I do admit that the weather was not so convincing in making me do so, but what can you do? I would never forget myself if I haven't tried. A little bit of history here. This road was built in 1916 by Russian soldiers following the Trabzon campaign, and since it was built it took many lives. It's considered to be even deadlier than the Bolivian death road, so you can imagine. But as such, it's a magnet for all adventure seekers. You see, this is the shame. I had to drive through the clouds, so all this scenery that I could be seeing, and a deadly descent, you couldn't be catching. It was not so terrifying. The only terrifying thing was this mud, and it was not so bad. At first I was a little bit skeptic how I will move forward, but Heidenau Scout K60 tires that I had were doing their job quite well. They have this central stripe, and sometimes the tire would go left or right, but as soon as it would pick up, I would be back in line, so that there was no question about if it was safe to move forward. If I saw that it's not the case, I would simply go back. But other thing was snow. As much as I like snow, when you drive a motorcycle, you don't feel quite good seeing it all around if you are not prepared for it. I mean, you can pass a certain amount of it, but if you have a road blockade, then you can't do anything about it. And in some places the elevation, the snow walls were like 2-3 meters, and in some places it was like, you know, green grass, so you couldn't tell. But the question mark was above my head all of the time, you know, questioning if I'll be able to finish the route or not. Look at this, amazing. The funny thing is, I didn't have enough space to place skis and ski boots with me. I was only oriented on riding a bike. Here you would say that the worst is behind me, but that's not the case, because for a few minutes there'll be snow all over again. And the rain was dropping, you know, it was not, you know, raining cats and dogs, it was dropping all around. I don't know, when you're doing these kind of places, you're trying to stay positive, and you're trying to think that there won't be, you know, heavy rain that will, you know, stop you of completing your voyage or stopping you to go back. I know it's foolish, but the instinct was telling me that it won't be, you know, any bigger rain, so I'll be able to find my way out of the mess if that will be the case. This is the famous part of the road with the high descent. And you can see how narrow it is on these places. So you could imagine before, when this was the only connection between north and south of this part of Turkey, and you had trucks, cars. It was not a pleasant place to drive. And when I was thinking that I'm close to nailing this road, because I was close to the place where a road starts to go down across serpentines with sharp turns, unfortunately I saw a snow blockade. A few hundred meters of snow that I couldn't do anything about it. I was even so tired that the bike fell down. Nothing special, usual practice sometimes. End of the road. Snow. Had to turn. It's a shame. I'm not planning to shovel this. Look at this. It's massive. We go back. So I had to stay positive. From 35 kilometers of this path, I managed to finish some 20 kilometers, and because of these few hundred meters of snow-covered road, I had to, you know, skip the possibility of completing D915, or that road as they call it. Shame, but what can you do? Sometimes you have to turn back. As they say, this will be only, you know, one more reason to come back here again and trying to succeed next time. In any case, if you would arrive here during the summertime, you would not be able to see this amount of snow. So there is a magic of at least trying to do it at this time of the year, and if you were not following, it was 20th of May, so as it's similar with other, mountain passes, you usually have to wait somewhere like July for road to be fully open. I was betting that it's open. It was not. What can I do? Next time it will be better. Plus, the funny thing with the long voyages is always the same, that you can't, pick the perfect timing to do everything, because either one place or another will be blocked by, weather, and you won't be able to pass it. So certain places, have a limited time period to do it, and since you can't be, at the same time at all places, you have to pick ones that you will do 1 year, and then others will be done next year. Civilization, if you would call it. Soon I'll be back on fully tarmac road, and then taking bypass road, or basically the main road now connecting Trabzon with the south part of Turkey. Rain was dropping most of the time, so I couldn't say anything, because it could have been worse than this. As I was approaching Trabzon, the weather was getting nicer. And Trabzon, and the sunny weather. Finally, so I recuperate here for 3 days, did a service on my Beamer, everything went well, splendid, nice food, nice place to be for a few days. And then it was time to say goodbye to Turkey and continue my voyage within the next fabulous mountain area, which is Georgia. Nice place to hang around on mountain passes, so I was very much looking forward to it. Turkey was beautiful. Hopefully I'll come back again, but now time has come to see Georgia. As always, when you see a bunch of trucks, then you know that you're close to border control. And here it is, Georgia. Not the nicest weather, but things will get better. You know, it was, as always, springtime, so the weather is always, you know, changing from one day to another. One day you have a rainy day, tomorrow it's nice, so you have to live with it. But on the other hand, the nature is much nicer at that time of the year. And this is Batumi, coastal city on the Black Sea. Not the nicest place during the rainy day, but what I heard, during the summertime this is a really nice party destination. A lot of people from this region are coming here, enjoying summer, enjoying big parties at the beaches. So this is something for another occasion. I won't be joining that kind of a fun this time. I'm heading first to one nice place called Martvili Canyon, and then I'll be heading to Georgian mountains. Live obstacles on the road. Have to avoid them by any chance if possible. And finally, after a long day of driving, I found my hosts. A beautiful place near Martvili Canyon to rest.